You guys asked for this video and I'm here to deliver it.
Traptendo.
What is going on, peoples? DJ Av here, and today I have a how to make your first beat video for the Roland MV-1 Verselab. So what I'm gonna do is walk through all of the intimate details of this groove box, and I will show you how to get from point A to point B. I will also have a link in the description box on where you can purchase it from. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link that will support this channel at no additional cost to you, as well as a playlist with all of the other things that you could do with the Roland MV-1. With that being said, I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section of what you want next. Yes, guys, I know you're gonna ask for a sampling video. So let's begin. So here we are with the Roland Verselab MV-1, and the first thing we need to do obviously is turn it on. The power switch is right here, located on the right side. You'll flip it to the right side and it will load the Verselab. Right now it's going through the firmware process where it's loading up. You get a nice little colorful presentation here, and we're gonna move forward from here. It takes about 5 to 15 seconds depending on how much you have on your SD card. And we have a project loaded, but we want to start a new project, so we're gonna hit this load button right here and use this, what you call a value parameter. We're gonna go to the right and select new project. Press down on this value knob and it will say new project, okay or cancel. Obviously we want to use okay, so we can load up a new empty template and empty project, and it's going to go through the process and it will give us a default project. So now it's complete, and we're going to mess around with a couple of things, starting with this track area right here on the MV-1. So you have 8 tracks. However, they are in distinctive categories, with the first 4 categories being drum tracks. So if I hit down on this pad, you'll hear the kick drum because it's on kick. If I hit down on the pad after switching to snare, snare, hi-hat, hi-hat. And if I go to the kit button right here, the kit track, it'll be the whole entire kit. The main thing people will want to know is how could you switch out your kit? So what you need to do is click down on this value parameter, and now you would hit kit so you can select a kit, okay, instead of selecting a individual sound. Now the opposite of that obviously is this right here. If I go into the value again, value knob, and click down, now I have access to pad 2. Now pad 2 is this, and I can set it up to be whatever I want it to be. I just go on the preset and I can put whatever I want into this pad. So, but I don't want that. I want that. But let's go over here. Let's hit the kit button again, and let's preview some of the stuff that is in there. You can go through all numbers, or you can go through alphabet. Let's do alphabet. And now I got an 80s kit. And you can hear what you got. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff. I can go on for days. Separate video. Now, we're going to exit out of here using the exit button. And we have everything back in order the way it was when we loaded up the default project. Because we're going to do a trap beat, because the trap beat is going to use all of the features of this groove box. Okay? You might have noticed that these pads are velocity sensitive. The harder I hit, the louder the sound. The softer I hit, the lower the sound. Now you can adjust that by going into system. You hit the system button right here and it will bring up system controls. And you have pad curve where you can set it to linear, exponential. You can set up the pad threshold to 15%, or 15 all the way up to whatever. And you can set up the pad trigger sensitivity where it's at 60 right now because that's the way I prefer it, and the pad gain as far as the pad color and so forth. You can do a whole bunch, which we'll cover later on in the video. So We're going to exit out there, but I wanted to show you that. And you can even fix it to where the velocity is fixed. So we're good to go here. The next thing I want to do is set up my bars. So when I lay it out, I can have either 1 bar to 4 bars. So you will hit this edit button right here and you'll see everything that can be edited illuminate and blink. So everything is blinking right now. And what I'm going to do is hit this measure. Boom. And it's going to bring up the step length. Right now it's on 16 steps. You can see 16 steps represented right here. See it right here. These are 16 steps from the TR-808, which is the originator of that style. And I can use the control 3 parameter to adjust everything. And it goes the same for anything in the system or utility menu and so forth. Now, to understand how step length works, I will give you a quick explanation dependent on your tempo. So right now we're in single time. It's at 70 BPM. I will show you how to change the tempo in a second, but right now we're going to work on measure. So 16 steps would be 1 bar. And if I go all the way up to 64 steps, right here, 4 bars. And I can go all the way up to about 128, and that will be the longest you can go in step length. But what I'm going to do here is a simple 16 bar loop. So I'm going to exit out of step length, but I wanted to show you that. So if you want, you can adjust it later. So how do we set up the tempo? Well, we're going to get familiar with this shift button right here. As you can see, there are lower commands under each button right here. Like the sequence button has a command called tempo. So I will be able to access that by hitting shift and sequence. And now you see the BPM. I can set the BPM higher. I can set it to whatever I want higher or even lower than what it is. I like it at 70 BPM for right now because I can adjust the BPM as I go. And that's not the only thing that you can control once you get into this tempo menu. You can use control 1 to set up a count in. You can turn it on. You can set metronome on or off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on because that would be useful when we record. We can turn it off later. You can set the metronome count level. It's at 60 right now. The metronome type, you have different types, of course. And let's hear type 4.
2.
This one's the least distracting. So, there you go. We're good with that and so forth. And once you're done, hit exit. And now we can start with the recording process. So let's hit record right here and play and get these drums in. 3, 4. As you can see, my timing was off. Now, luckily for you, this machine has quantized, but you still have to be mindful of the way that you lay down your drums. Now, since I have these drums that are a hot mess, let's turn off record. What I need to do next is this right here. I want to get rid of all that stuff that I just laid down, so I would hit clear and then follow up by hitting note. Now everything is gone. Now keep in mind, after you clear note, you will have to go into edit again and then set up your measures again. I don't know why they chose that, but that's how it works on the MV-1. Maybe in the future update they'll fix that, but right now we can just lay out the drums. We're going to pay attention to the actual count. I'm going to slow down, hit record. And success. Awesome, right? Well, yeah, absolutely it is. So what we're going to do is hit record again. So we're not recording anymore. And we're going to hit a pad. So let's go ahead and select a pad so I can show you some things with this step sequencer right here, which is very good. So if you want to edit anything right here, you would just hit the pad in itself. If that doesn't work, make sure that you hit edit and then that particular pad and then hit exit. We're going to get into the pad features too as well because it's very important. But you can see right over here in the step sequencer, I can put more stuff in by just pressing down on the step sequencer. Let's hear that. Boom. So if I want to do one right here, let's do that. If I want to hit some more snares, and if I want to erase some hi-hats here, we can do that too as well. So I got to hit edit again, get out of that. Boom. Go ahead and take away. Now, let's get into another feature here, which you will find very, very handy. So I want those hi-hats that are rattling. Let's rattle those hi-hats, right? Can you do that? Well, yes, you can. After the fact, in two different ways. So how do I get these rattling hi-hats? So I'm going to hit this edit button right here. And the next thing I'm going to do is pick out a step. I'm going to pick this step 1. I'm going to press that step 1. It's going to start flashing. And then we have different options on the screen right here. We have velocity. I can change the velocity to 70, 80 or whatever, all the way up to, I believe, 127. Yep. And I'm going to just turn it down for now. I can change how fast it is played or how slow it's played. Like I can move it off the grid with this option. Let's hear that. Here that is a little bit off now. And I could do what I want, which is substep. So I could do a half. And let's add some in. And now I could do some stuff with my snare too. So let's go ahead and pick out a step on the snare. Let's see what we got here. So that doesn't work for me. So yeah, I can go to kicks and let's select a step for the kicks. Let's play with that a little bit. That works for me. I like that. You can also change the length of that step or that sound, or you could do micro timing too as well. But what we're going to do is just exit out. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into the hi-hats right here, and I'm going to get rid of everything. I don't want to use these hi-hats, even though I like them. I want to show you another option here. Now, if you are familiar with the MPC, you know that the MPC has a function called no repeat. There is exactly that feature on the MV-1, except it's called style. So what we're going to do is hit the style button over here in this pad mode, and we're going to press the pad. So I can enter hi-hats this way. And there are many different templates that you can use and mix and match. So I like that. So what we're going to do is hit record, and let's do that. So I like what I got going on here, though I messed up. And yeah, we're going to go with that. So let's get out of style mode. Let's go back to note mode so we can actually play the notes. And we're going to mess around and play with our first instrument track. And now we have the melodic. So I have this bell here, but what if I want to lock this into a specific scale? And I'm not good at playing. Well, guess what? The Roland MV Verselab has you covered. Now we're going to go into this edit button right here, and we're going to hit note. So once I hit note, it will pull up more options over here where it says note settings. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out of a C. I'm going to change it to a F sharp. The next thing I could do is go into Control 1 and then set the scale. From here, I can just set up like either a major, minor, Dorian. I'm going to go Phrygian. There's a whole bunch of scales that you can choose from by hitting this Control 3 parameter. And then you can just make your decisions based on how you like to play. And you can also audition it. And as you can see, you can play scales this way. So now I can exit out of here because I'm good to go. And I'll just work with this bell sound. So with that being said, let's go ahead and record that in. But remember, I did say that there was a hidden feature or more features that you can play with. So what I want to do here is hit Shift and Style because I want to use chords, right? Because you can do chords the way I just showed you by playing triads or this. So I have what I want. I got this right here. Let's lay that down over that drum line. Hit record, hit play, 2, 3, 4. Now that we have recorded that in, there are some things that you probably have in question. Like, it's too loud, right? The bell seems a little bit too loud. So how do you mix it? So we're going to hit this button right here, and it will bring you into mixer mode, where you can choose to either set your level right here. Let's play the track at the same time. Lower the level. You can pan it to the right, pan it to the left. And you can even mute the track if you don't want to hear it. There's a way to mute the track while you're playing it live, and it's something that you would miss. So I want to mention it here. So let's exit out and press play. And you would just hit mixer in the track that you want to mute. And there you have it right there. That's a certain way to do that. So what if I don't like that bell sound and I want to change that bell sound out for something else? So make sure that you're on that track that has that bell sound right now, the current bell sound, and we're going to hit enter on the volume knob. And from here, I'm going to choose different presets. I'll go to the alphabet here. And from here, I'll go into different categories. So I have poly keys, hits, and so forth. Just use your value knob. Just select whatever category. Yeah, E-pianos. You got a whole bunch. And I see I have bells. So I'm going to go into the bell category. I'm going to hit down on the value knob again. And we're going to preview that. So I like that snowflakes preset. I'm just going to go ahead and hit down on the value knob again. Make sure that it's in there. And I can move on to my next track. Now I'm going to stay in style mode and I'm going to lay out these pads. But what if I want that sound to be lower in octave? Well, you can control that by hitting Shift and the measure. Boom. Now we have a little bit more body here, and let's hit record and play. Now I just lowered the octave while I played. And now we're good to go. So the next thing is obvious. Let's just lay out a bass track, and now I can go back into note mode since I'm good with what I have. But in this case, I want to make these 808s about like 4 bars. So what I want to do here is hit edit. Now I'm going to hit the measure button, and I'm going to adjust this to about 64 steps, and it should be good to go. Once you set that up, now we could just record it in. Turn down the 808s a little bit. Let's turn on those 808s. You know what? I changed my mind about instrument number 2, which is the oud pad. So what I want to do here is I'm going to press clear note. Boom. Now I don't have that no more. So what I'm going to do instead is do arpeggios. So I'm going to change the sound, and I'm going to go into presets here. I'm going to change it to poly keys. I'm going to pick out a preset called open water, and we're going to make this sound right here into arpeggios, because this can do arpeggios. All you have to do is go into edit, style, and now we have access to arpeggios where you can change the style of the arpeggios all the way up to the chord mode. So if you go into style chord mode, it will have the arpeggios in there instead of just playing like notes or chords. So that is what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and mess with this real quick. So once you set up your arpeggios the way you want, and you have plenty of options here from changing it to different octaves, to different styles and so forth, make sure that you keep in mind that this is only on melodic tracks. You cannot do that on the drum tracks, and I'll show you why. And that's the reason why I made this decision. So from here, I got what I want. I just exit out and I just lay it out. So let's go ahead and record it. So now that we have that established, and we're good to go. If you want to do other things too as well, let's keep in mind that you can add effects. So hit shift and make sure that you have the selected track that you want, and you can go into multi effects and you can set the effects on, and then you can control different parameters. So use the value knob to select things like reverb, and increase the reverb. You can also increase delay, and you can pick out different things too as well. And keep in mind, you can always hit edit and you can select the mixer and whatever track that you have the effects on. So if you want multiple effects or delay or a certain kind of effect, you would just go into multi-effect here, and it says switch on. You can change the filter, the type, tone, color, slope, gain, level, and so forth. All right, so what I want to do is add one more sound here. But I ran out of melodic tracks. So what can I do in that regard? So I would hit clear and select one of the drum tracks. It will say clear track, hit OK, and then it will ask me to create either a tone track or a drum kit. So I'm going to select tone track because I want it to be a tone, so I can play it via either the style chords or the note mode. So what I'm going to do next is just make sure that I have kick selected, and then I'm going to go over here into a different category, all of the stuff that I did before, and select a pad. So I have a pad selected. I actually like this pad a little bit better than my previous pad. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I select it by hitting the value knob. So record. So congratulations, you have laid out your first sequence on the Roland Verselab MV-1. Now, the next thing you need to do is know how to save it so you can lay it out in song mode later, or continue back to it just in case you get more ideas. So what you need to do is hold shift and then press load. And now you have entered save mode. So now that we're in save mode, how do you save? So the first control controls the position of where you would put a letter or something like that. The second control will do uppercase and lowercase and numbers. And last but not least, control 3 will allow you to change it from, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever corresponding character. So what you need to do here, I'm gonna go ahead and just do A. I'm gonna name it whatever. I'm just gonna name it something real simple. I'm gonna name it new beat. So let's name it new beat. And then hit enter after you're done. It's a save project. Okay. Boom. And now it's writing that project to your SD card. And you're good to go. Tell me how you feel about this video. Hopefully it was useful to you. I really like the Roland MV-1. The sounds is probably the best thing about it. Like, it comes with the sounds that you need. It's a very simple workflow. It's nothing harder than any other drum machine or groove box or drum sampler that's out on the market, to be honest. And it's gonna get better with time. Like, updates and stuff like that will prove that Roland will deliver, and that's what I hope, at least, and that's what we're probably going to get. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my review for more details, just in case you want that. That will be in the description box. And yeah, don't forget to ask for other videos for the MV-1, and I will get to them momentarily.